All right, welcome back to another Clearmud live stream. Today is all about ideation and vibe coding. We're going to put our finishing touches on this version 2 for, that's a little teaser. Probably shouldn't be showing you this. Finishing touches on Claude. We have a new version 2 launching very soon. And yeah, let's get straight into it. Oh, we got some early comments here. What's up, Mertism? Mertism here? I hope I'm just gonna call you Mert. I hope you don't mind. Currently using Kimi 2.5 to build a system for my e-commerce business. Yeah, so I wish I can give more input on Kimi 2.5. I do plan on testing it. Kimi actually reached out to me to test their Kimi Claw. I just haven't gotten around to it. So it's on my list. Listen, I'd love to give you some honest feedback. I just don't have anything to provide with that model as I haven't tested it thoroughly yet. But I've heard good things. So, you know, I'm a big advocate for testing first. Test it yourself. You know, don't be so committed with the OS that you set up. Test it, get a feel for it, get a feel for its intelligence, you know, how it works. If it's good enough for you, then hey, by all means. Could this tool genuinely help? Are you talking about, what tool are you talking about? Are you talking about Claude, this one? So this is more so of a you know, a free resource I'm building for the community. I do plan on having like a pro feature down the road where it's primarily targeted towards businesses, freelancers, and anybody trying to build out their own. It's gonna be a way to get my one-on-one kind of like support in helping you from start to finish, but that's further along down the road, right? My schedule is a bit packed right now, so I'm just taking it one step at a time. I'm not rushing into anything, and I continue to learn more about OpenClaw every single day. So hope that helps. Let me know specifically what tool you're referencing though. If you're referencing this one, I think this tool is genuinely going to help people. Yes. Yo, what's up, Sharma? Thanks for tuning in. Hey, and yeah, thanks for the input. Sharma's had some hands-on with Kimi. What tool you're referencing though? If you're referencing this one, I had to make sure we're live. That's one little checker. I think my process is pretty much dialed in to where I don't have to check that every time, but I've had a few live streams on past channels where I thought I was live and I wasn't. So it's just a peace of mind, ensuring that we're live. All right, so I have 3 different terminals open here. One for Gemini, one for Codex, because we are gonna analyze the code base today. But let's set up a preview. Let's actually open up a new tab, run dev. And this should run it on 3000. I could have sworn I specified a different port, but that's okay. Localhost 3000. There we go. So this is what we worked on Friday. And it's almost there. It's almost there. But we were running into some issues with the kind of build not carrying over. So let's test it real quick. So let's say we want to build a solo agent setup. Let's call it let's call it personal assistant. And I want Telegram and WhatsApp. And we're going to use Claude. So this in theory should generate a config for us. It should visualize it in the canvas, and it should allow you to export this. So you can paste it into a fresh setup. Oh, this is actually, yes, it's working. You're a Claude personal assistant that, okay. All right, so I love the export config button is working. I think for the master prompt, right? Like if the user's not going back and forth in the chat of as far as like sole identity, I think that the master prompt field should allow inline edits. So let's say I wanted to start typing something additional to the identity before I copy this or export it or download it, right? To give it to my OC setup. Additionally, the OpenClaw JSON looks fine. We don't need the markdown renderer there because that's a JSON file, that's a config file. But the master prompt MD, I see that it's just a wall of text to me. I think that if we create a markdown renderer here so that when you see a pound, it's actually a title, or a double pound, right? Or double asterisk, it bolds that kind of like title in the line. I think we should have it markdown render friendly, and then have a copy paste a code block. You already have it in a code block, which is great, but I want to copy paste a button for each code block. Should the user not even want to hit download, let's say they just want to copy what's in the code block or the HTML block. Let's add this feature in there, please. All right, making some little tweaks. Let's continue looking at it though. So browse, this is the one I need to work on. These templates are kind of like, it shows you the config file, shows you the canvas. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Export config master prompt. This document defines roles, identity, directives for the agents in his organization. Okay. Interesting. And then the help. I built this help feature. I'm going to fund this API for as long as I can. Hopefully this doesn't become too popular, right? But you can essentially come in and paste your errors. Let's say you have an existing OC setup and you're having issues, or you're setting up an OC setup and you're having issues. Well, you can come and prompt this, and this is it's just a wrapper around Gemini 3.1 Flashlight. However, it only references two sources. It references the GitHub with all of the various releases for OpenClaw, as well as the docs.openclaw.ai. It doesn't reference anything else. So you get your answer based off of the documentation for OpenClaw. I thought it was a fun little chat to build out. It's going to be completely free to use, right? All 4 of these features are going to be free. And then weekly, I'm going to start improving this as well. I created this kind of visual reference where you can come in and visualize things. Still needs some work, right? But I think it's great for beginners. I think it's great for people to come and interact and just like hover over and see, okay, you know, this obviously needs to anchor to the right when you're highlighting over something, hovering over something on the left. But nevertheless, I think it's a fun tool. Who's excited for this? Who wants to use ClawCrib? We're launching it today, bugs or not, right? Like I want to get this live. We already have a version that is live, but if you look at it, it is ClawCrib. It defaults to the learn page. The builder and the browse features are, you know, because originally this was going to be a share your crib type social network for OC setups. But the more like I thought about it and the more time that passed, I realized that most people aren't going to want to share their cribs. Let's face it. And most people don't want to share their soul, their identity. Some will, but the original idea for this completely changed, and I'm loving the direction that we're going in. But now it's just a matter of spending a little bit more time in these pre-built templates, because I want to start actually building out templates from scratch, exporting them on my end, and then uploading them here, right? So I think one of the first templates we're going to add is the Goat OS template from our Wednesday boot camps, which I'm very excited for. But this is a work in progress, right? So I think one thing we'll also add here is let me know what you guys think about this, but I think adding some type of like feedback page in its beta state to where people can post or share certain things that they wish it had, right? And then I can evaluate if it's worth adding. I'm going to set up an agent to add to that, like to pull from that section and then make adjustments and improvements to it. Oh my God. Hey, thank you. We got 18 people. Thank you to every single one of you. Happy Monday, by the way. I should have started that way. Thanks for being here. Let's catch up on comments. I wasn't expecting to have such a nice group today. Do I host locally or do I run through VPS? I host locally personally, all sandboxed virtual machines. I did actually come across very good input. This dude right here, if you're not following him, he's got a background as a dev level. I'm sure most people know about him. But he made a post recently, and it's just his breakdown on the first thing he does when he sets up a VPS. He uses Hetzner. Check out this post. I mean, it's simplified. He's not going to give you a tutorial, a step-by-step. I think at some point I'm going to make a tutorial based off of his steps, but everything checks out here for me. This seems like the proper approach to first lock down your VPS, right? And then you can start building in it, and it's peace of mind knowing nobody can hack, right? So go give him a follow if you're not already. Great account to follow. Yo, good morning, Raymond. Today, we're gonna launch this version 2 today. Hey, what's up? Thanks, Coffee Crew. Let's go. Welcome. Hope you're having a good Monday. Hey, thank you. Thank you. Thanks for the feedback. Yeah, listen, I'm an advocate for starting as simply as possible. So if a VPS is easier for you, right? Maybe you don't have the resources to do it locally, then yeah, by all means do it. But just go follow this post, follow his steps. I don't have a video on it. Listen, I make videos around things that I actually do and try. I'm not gonna go make a VPS video when I don't actively use a VPS, right? I'm not gonna mislead you this way. And I'm never gonna clickbait you this way, right? The videos I make are things that are tried and true for me, things that I know how to do. So at some point though, I do wanna set up a VPS account for my personal brand because that is one thing I want access to everywhere. I don't wanna rely on a local instance. But I haven't set that up yet. That's gonna be after the boot camp. I'm gonna focus on that in April. So I'm guessing by May, I'll have a very detailed VPS video coming out for how to set up your own OC agent via VPS. So with step-by-step, beginner-friendly, all that. But I'm not there yet. I'm focused on certain things right now. But yeah, listen, like I'm an advocate for starting lean, and VPSs are very affordable, right? You can get them as low as $5 a month. So I think it's a great way to start and test. And then validate like before you make a hardware purchase. I'm not a big Mac Mini guy. I'm not gonna tell everybody they need a Mac Mini because not everybody does. Determine whether or not you can justify the cost first. Test on whatever hardware you have available and then justify the purchase. But like, let's say your budget allows you to spend $1,000 extra a month and throw it down the drain. By all means, go buy a Mac Mini, right? I won't tell you what not to buy if you can afford it, but I'm all about starting lean as possible and then justifying the expense as you grow and need that type of setup. Hey, let's go, congrats. I'm running this all on an M1 Max. It's only got 32 gigs of RAM. I currently run 2 different VMs right now, 24/7. Let me pull them up. We have Goat. I usually have this actually, ooh, no, that was OBS. Sorry about that. I have Goat. Right? He usually stays up here. And then I also have Muddy. Goat is our bootcamp VM. And it needs to run 24/7 to test the automations, right? And then Muddy is my personal one that I use for Clearmud operations. Voila. But yeah, I just use sandboxed virtual machines. I use VMware Fusion because it integrates well with a VMware ESXi infrastructure, which I'm gonna eventually migrate these to, and it's just as simple as copy pasting that directory, which is pretty nifty and awesome. Let me make this OBS a little bit bigger here. But yeah, I forgot to finish that. So the Goat runs off of 2 cores plus 6 gigs of memory, and then Muddy runs off of 4 cores plus I think 12 gigs of memory right now, and smooth sailing. What's up, Derek? Welcome. Happy Monday. I hope you're having a great day. This is what not to ask. Thank you for being a model citizen here. Listen, I do all this to teach you how to build your own. Never ask me for code. Derek is just Josh in here. He knows the rule here. Don't ask for code. Build it yourself. I give you all the resources, all the step-by-step, all the content for you to build your own. Oh, that's hilarious. Have you used OpenClaw with Olama? No, I have not. Yeah, I don't use local LLMs right now. Listen, I'm not against them, but the models that I use are like tried and true. There's some of the best models out there. I get that not everybody can afford the $200 a month plans across the board. So go with what you can afford, right? I'll never tell you you need this versus that. But yeah, I can't speak to local models because, listen, I know they're gonna get the frequency, or rather the rate that they're gonna improve is going to be insane over the next year. And I think by this time next year, yes, I'll be running some local models because I will have the budget to buy hardware that can host them without limitation, right? But right now, based off of my hardware, the resources available, how much I jump from country to country, it makes sense for me to just use these models with paid subs. That's my approach. So I can't speak too much to these local models as of now. I wish I had more feedback there. I'm sure there's got to be some local model niched AI channels out there that can give you more information about local models. I'm not that guy right now, sadly. So wish I could be more helpful there. Nice, yeah. So I've set up VirtualBox. I've set up VMware Fusion. I was originally going to do a video on VirtualBox, but I last minute pivoted to Fusion because that's what I use and it made more sense. But VirtualBox, man, I've been using that for a decade from my IT days. That was a great free alternative. Clients didn't have to pay for the VM software, completely open source. It works across almost any operating system. So good to hear, Christian. Are you having a good experience with it? Not recommend, guys. VPS is much better. Yeah. Nice. Very nice. Yeah. Listen, like, I'm not against it. I just don't have much info to give on local models right now. I'd rather speak to what I know. But as I mentioned, in the coming months and year tops, I have a feeling I'll be running a local model 24/7 on the right hardware. All right, let's go back to it. I hate sometimes on my screen, you guys can see it. It's like, I don't know what's causing this. I haven't taken the time to troubleshoot it, but it like reserves this big space instead of just giving me this square here. Really annoying. Oh yes, and we have to do some ideation today as well. Little teaser, these are the 2 videos in the queue. I think I'm gonna be rushing the MuddyOS deep dive. I'm starting to prep these visual guides for each video. Pretty fun. I think this Cron one will go live tomorrow. I gotta record it, I gotta record it tomorrow. I'm usually not recording things the same day and releasing them the same day, but it's kind of where we're at right now. But I do want to do a new YouTube script. CLI for beginners. Call it Vibe Coding 101. Want to create a video that teaches, and this isn't going to be for everyone, right? Advanced users don't need this video, but I've been seeing a lot of comments and requests for like breaking down how to set up the CLI to begin with. So I thought, wow, this will actually be a great video to add to our library on Clearmud, where we're going to show all 3 CLIs, at least the 3 that I use, how to install and run Gemini in the CLI, how to install and run Claude code in the CLI, and how to install and run Codex in the CLI. Listen, for most of us, this is obviously like, you know how to do it, but you'd be surprised how many people have asked this. So I think it's going to be a very valuable video for everyday people, for beginners, for someone who hasn't even vibe coded yet, to come learn how to install it. This is going to be primarily for Mac OS X, but eventually I'll make a Windows version of it. It teaches people how to download and install the following: Claude Code, Gemini, and Codex. This video will be 3 parts showing each setup and how to start from the terminal. All right. Maybe I rush this one out this week. I'm not sure. This one will realistically be next week because I want to take my time with it and think from the perspective of a beginner. So let's wait for this to run. I've been watching too much Ted Lasso. Seen you drink water, was waiting for you to spit it up and complain about the bubbles. No, that cracked me up though. That scene in Ted Lasso, because I'm one of the crazies who chug sparkling water. I love it because I've given up soda, a long time ago. So that's like my carbonated drink. I was the kid who would drink just massive cups. I forget, 32-ounce cups of root beer. Not brush my teeth consistently. Listen, I'm actually going to stop saying what I'm going to say because it might disgust people. But I was a bad kid when it came to cavities. Let's just say I set some records with the dental offices of how many cavities I would show up with per visit. It was, I'm not bragging. It's more of a reflection of how far I've come with my dental care. Like now, I obviously floss every night before I go to bed. I brush twice a day. Like I'm very, very mindful and responsible with dental health care. But when I was a child, oh my goodness gracious, I was not. But going back to Ted Lasso, man, I remember watching that and I cracked up. I was like, man, what up? Like, if you can't check that, what's wrong with you? If I was 20, this is a great question. I love these introspective questions. If I was 23 years old right now, what would I do to maximize this opportunity? Man, it's almost 15 years ago for me. Just outing myself on my age. I would party less. I would stop going to the bars as much, maybe once a month if you want a social life. I would find a group of people who are as obsessed or interested in this technology as you are. I would create a Discord server with those groups of people, and I would come together. I would hang out with them every single day, a couple times a week, learn together, grow together. I wouldn't be I know the younger me would be focused on making money, but I think the smart move is educating yourself as much as possible with everything related to AI. Figure out what feeds your energy, go all in, and let's say you already have a business mindset. Find a need, fill a need. Find a need, fill a need, right? Create a product or a solution using the power of AI that solves a pain point for businesses. Reach out to those businesses, right? If you're from the perspective of wanting to make money quick. But I think it would just be like finding a group of people who are obsessed about this tech as I am and hang out with them every day, grow with them every day, build stuff with them every day, learn from each other, like weekly strategy sessions of what did you learn this week? What did you build this week? Oh, how did you do that, right? Repetition. You'll build this just insane amount of knowledge to grow. That's what I would be doing at 23 right now. Because in my younger 20s era, listen, I grew up around computers. I'm very blessed to my father and the family business for, all my hardware, software, networking experience and just history. But, in my 20s, I was very much avoiding applying myself. I was partying. I was going down that path, right? So that's definitely one thing I would change. And I would recommend any person in their early 20s to do the same. I hope that helps. Thanks for the nice question, though. Yeah, it's been good. I have the extra hardware, so no struggles. Nice. This is what it's all about, right? Just test it out. Test out all the different models you can. There's so much opportunity and so many different options is probably what I'd rather say, that you got to just figure out what works for you, because what works for me isn't going to work for you. What works for them isn't going to work for you, right? Figure out what works for you, your budget, your expenses, right? As far as what hardware you have available to you, and then go all in on that, right? You don't have to use what somebody else is using just because they say you have to use it. Figure out what works for you and use it. I'm a big advocate for that. There's technically no $200 unlimited plan of anything. Everything gets maxed on weekly usage. So I'm not sure what you're referencing here. If you know of an unlimited $200 a month plan, you let me know. I will test that. What's up, Paul? Hey, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate you for being here. Hey, we're all beginners. We're all beginners. Let's go. Hey, if you want to share, come pop in the Discord. I'd love to see that website. Yeah, right there. Right there. Like, listen, I think it's safe to say all of the friends I made in college, listen, there's a handful that I still communicate with on frequently, right? That I love dearly, that are like brothers and sisters to me. However, I do not communicate with them daily. They are not obsessed with this tech like I am. I was always the dude, right? The computer guy. I was touting Bitcoin in 2012. Everyone thought I was crazy. You know, I think going back to it, just surrounding yourself with like-minded people, because I did not do that in my 20s. I did not surround myself with like-minded people. And I wish I did more of that. It's not a regret. It's more of an observation and understanding that, like, you know, I've grown, I've learned, right? So I hope that's helpful. Thanks for your input, Derek. Ross Slots, I've been trying to find an OCR program for a project. None of the 3 Python ones that Sonnet has recommended have worked. Is there an AI that can create a custom OCR? I'm gonna sound dumb for asking this, but I'm a big advocate that there is no such thing as a dumb question. What does OCR mean? I might know, but optical character, is this your reference here? I can't speak to this, to be honest. If something comes to mind, I'll let you know. I've heard of certain models doing a great job at this, but yeah, I can't speak to this, to be honest. Now, what models have you asked? You've only asked Sonnet. Have you asked Opus? Have you asked Codex 5.4? Could have some valuable insight for you there. Try page index for the OCR bit. Good recommendation. Thank you, Sharma. I feel it. Hey, I mean, you're in the right field, I think, right? A small design service business. I feel like there's tons of use cases for you with these agents, with LLMs in general, right? Ah, interesting. Like this workflow, if you're trying to pull it from videos, and the videos verbally say the text, right? Download the transcript. I mean, that's a given. I'm sure you've thought of that. But yeah, I wish I had more of a better answer for you. I haven't tried to actually pull text on screen from a video if it's not in the transcript. I'd love to know. I'd love to know. Page index. Is it this one here by Vectify AI? Sharma? I'm gonna have to add this. I create a little to-do folder here of things I want to check out. So I'm gonna add that into my little weekend jam sesh. I've already found all of these today. Today's an ideation day where I just do a lot of research, a lot of planning, a lot of learning. Actually, between yesterday and today, I added these in the to-do folder, so I will get to them this coming weekend. Let's see where we are with our changes here. And then also go back to that script. 3A coding tools every beginner needs. It's kind of misleading. From zero to vibing. From zero to vibe coding in 15 minutes. Ooh, this is actually a great title. Let's see what this hook is. 15 minutes, that's all it takes to go from a blank terminal to having 3 of the most powerful AI coding tools installed and ready to use. Ooh, ooh. I love that. Strategy 2 seems like a winner. Strategy 3, the copy me. Okay, this might be more SEO friendly. This might be more SEO friendly. Looks like Opus recommends strategy 3. Man, I'm gonna be honest. Let's see this hook. I'd love some community feedback. Would you click on a video with an awesome thumbnail and a title that says, as a beginner, install Claude Code, Gemini, CLI, Gemini Codex CLI in 15 minutes, copy me, or from 0 to vibe coding in 15 minutes, and then all of the, I still like strategy too. See, this is sometimes I fight back on my script writer. I don't always go with what it recommends. It recommends 3, and I get it from an SEO perspective and discoverability via title. But I just like this one better. I think I'm gonna go with strategy 2 here. And this is where I can, like, on the turn, first it does all that research and prep in Opus. This is a thing I've built for myself. I actually show you how to build this in videos past. So if you're interested, just, yeah, right? I think so. Thank you, George. But this allows me to kind of like critique the process. And now we just wait. So I'm gonna go back to what we were vibing here. Let's make sure we turn on auto edits. Okay, perfect. So Sharma was mentioning that I was correct on that, that GitHub. This bootcamp is amazing. I'm not familiar with Discord, but I'd love to join your server, learn with others. Also, what kind of, hey, thank you. I'm glad you're finding value in it. I'm just thrilled. I'm thrilled. Let me generate, not now. Let me generate a batch of invites right now. Yeah, I encourage everybody. Like, if you're already in the Discord, listen, the Discord's for you more than it is for me, right? I'll try to always respond to questions when I can, but it's all about creating a place where people can interact and help each other, right? And not just rely on me. Because as it grows, as it undoubtedly will, I'm gonna be able to answer every question less and less and less and less. So I really want to just start fostering a group of people who, you know, want to actually engage every day. And per Derek's thoughts, we're actually deploying a new bot that is going to create like these themes of the day to hopefully help kind of the day-to-day engagement. Generate new link, copy. So here's a batch of 10 for you guys there. And yeah, Discord is invite only during live streams. I will not post a link outside of it for just the floodgates to open. I'd rather just people who show up to the live streams, ask questions, and want to be a part of it, they get the invite, right? But it's also a test run for me to like learn how to manage and build a community, right? Through Discord. So, all right, let me minimize that. Editable master prompts. Oh, that's one thing I forgot to test, isn't it? Let's go back. Solo, support, WhatsApp, Claude. Let's see if this canvas feature works. So how it's supposed to work is based off of the chat's response and config file and steps to take. So use this config. Let's go to canvas. Ah, love it. I love some errors. Actually, that's such a small error. I can just, unless I can't. All right, I'm testing the build feature you know, once you specify, you go through the onboarding and then you get the output for the config file. I click the button saying I want to use this setup. And then I try to navigate to Canvas, but the visual isn't working based off of the chat. I get this error. Gotta mute this mic for a second. Didn't want you guys to hear that. Oh, and you know, I guess I should get in the habit of doing this more, but you know, I do all this for free. So all I ask is when you're in here, smash that like button, share this with a friend, engage as much as possible. It really does help the discoverability of this channel on YouTube for live streams so that like-minded individuals can find us and come and hang out and vibe code. So I'd appreciate it. I usually have Supreme in here. I think he's more of a Wednesday streamer who always says, smash that like button, people. Come on, what are you doing? I hate the fact I have to ask, but it's something I should incorporate to kind of my flow. If we have 20 people watching, there should be 20 likes, no exceptions. Except, of course, I know some people watch this on the TV, and I don't think you can like it on the TV. Correct me if I'm wrong. All right. Let's continue to go through and browse all the templates. What is this? Is this old stuff? Yeah, these were old community builds. These were placeholders. I think we got to remove these. All right, and then for the browse section, I'm going to go through every template right now. But just thinking ahead, we have a community build section on the bottom, and this is related to the original kind of vision for ClawCrib. These look like placeholders to me. They don't look like they bring value, so I think the move is to remove them. But let's not rule out the idea of incorporating a share your crib in a community section down the road. I think maybe as we grow and as we dial in the core fundamentals of this app, then we can incorporate a community share feature. But I think right now the browse should be strictly related to pre-built templates that we spec out, right? That we think people will find useful. So let's remove that community build section and content altogether for now. All right. There we go. Oh, okay. I didn't know. Hey, thank you, Ross. Oh, okay. So it's the chatting on TV that you can't do. Good to know. Good to know. Hey, I appreciate you, Mert. Thank you. Thank you, George. Yeah, I know it's easy. Like, listen, I also tune into other live streams and sometimes forget to hit the like button. So, like, I think it's the job of the host to also kind of just encourage people, because you'd be surprised what that does a lot for. Okay, already two validating comments here. Thank you for the input. Thank you for letting me know. It's just the comments that you can't do on TV. But yeah, it does help out the channel a lot. Helps out discoverability, and YouTube just placing it more into people's feeds. All right. But I'll be honest, I prefer a smaller crew. I couldn't imagine 600 people in here, 1,000 people in here. I wouldn't be able to answer all the questions thoughtfully, right? Like it would be mayhem. And I think at some point that will happen, but for as long as possible, I'm looking forward to keeping this nice and small, if I'm being honest. All right, let's pop that in there too, and then we'll test it on the next pass. Hey, so I'm the same way. This is why, like, there's no ill will towards the audience, right? It's something I should probably start saying kind of strategically throughout the episode. Even though I hate saying it, it has to be said. So thank you. Thank you. All right, let's go back to that script. Doing a whole bunch of multitasking today. Let's add that to our calendar. Go to content calendar, and it should be at the bottom right here. So let's go take a look. Terminal looks scary, but it's not. Okay. Yeah, and for anybody new to the channel, I don't read scripts word for word. I use them more of an outline. I'll generally nail the hook and edit the hook. But then everything else is just like, it's a listicle in my mind. I usually have a little sticky note or a notepad open on my computer, just making sure I go from checkpoint to checkpoint to checkpoint. I read through the script once, but I never read word for word, teleprompter style. It's just, it has no personality to it. And it's just not the way I like to make videos and do things. I like to shoot from the hip. I like to speak how I speak. But I do read it as an outline to kind of get a better understanding of its suggestion, and then I kind of tweak it as I see fit. Part 1 Claude code makes sense. I'm not going to read through the whole thing. Okay, I mean, I won't read this word for word, right? I'll just kind of speak to it as I see fit. Part 3 codecs. Yeah, I think this will be a great video. It's not going to be useful for most, novice or advanced users, right? At all. It's for the beginners. It's for people who have not yet vibe coded but want to learn how to set it up in the terminal. And then I think incorporating when I use each one, and then I think we should incorporate another section here. So I'm just going to edit this part. So hook, Claude, Gemini codecs, I think was the order. Yeah. Gemini codecs, how to nav plus how to set up project, outro. I think that's going to be the flow I follow, right? Like how to navigate in the terminal, just do a quick basic breakdown, how to set up a project, and then outro. I think that's the move. Okay. Yeah, I like it. So I got to do a thumbnail for that. Let's also clean this up because I need to sift through all my ideas, but I really like the idea of putting this one up here, make that a priority. Ooh, we also have to do a prompt browser video at some point. This one's a good one. This one's a good one. This one is now backlogged back in the ideas section. Okay, cool. Let's go check the changes. Yeah, listen, I think we're all guilty of this, right? London, speak up. We are in the similar time zone. I'm in Portugal right now. I spent half my year in Portugal, the other half in California. Yeah, so it depends. I generally prefer to just record start to finish. There's some videos where I have to go back and re-record a certain part, but I do a lot of preparation for videos where I will actually do the thing once to get that repetition of how I'm going to demo it and how I'm going to build it. And then I'll run through it with the screen recording with the video recording. I try to just do one pass through every time. That's always my goal. Because it feels more like it flows better. Whereas I'm the type of person that if I record an entire video like that and then have to redo parts, my tone, the way I speak, you can notice a shift from the full recording, and then I add in a part here. Well, my tone of voice is different there than it would normally be if I'm just going start to finish. So that's just me, but sometimes I do have to record certain parts. Obrigado. Mora aqui? Do you live here? Or do you just speak a little Portuguese? I'm fluent for the most part. Reading and writing it is definitely more difficult. There's still certain phrases that kind of pass over the top of my head, but for the most part, I get around. Okay, all of those changes are ready to test. Let's go to build, hard refresh, 2 to 3 agents, personal assistant, web chat, Discord, Claude. Use this config, hit canvas. Nope, data that can't be visualized yet. Same error, what does the console show? Let's hard refresh this, go through the whole process one more time. Okay, 5 agent team, personal assistant, content creation, marketing, WhatsApp, Discord, Telegram, Gemini. Okay, so you went to Brazil, nice. Florianopolis. Listen, I haven't made it that far south in Brazil. I have some family in São Paulo and Campinas, but everyone here in Portugal thinks I'm Brazilian because I learned how to speak. I have more family in Brazil than Portugal because my dad's side migrated there when he was a teenager, but all my blood is from here. But my mother's an only child, so very few cousins here to talk to. As opposed to Portugal, I just have waves and waves and waves of cousins. We might even have Murilo in the chat silently watching. I know he tunes into the stream sometime. But I have the Brazilian accent more in my speaking because of how I learned. But that's a beautiful place, I've heard. That's awesome. Went to Florianopolis once, and that's all I know. That's great. That reminds me of some of those memes you see on social media where it's like this dog bobbing his head, like pretending to know Portuguese after saying obrigado or pastéis de nata at a cafe. It's hilarious. It makes me crack up. Yeah, it makes sense. I need to improve his speaking on camera setting. Yeah, it's just the reps. My goal for this channel has always been get to 100 videos first. I think I'm at 72. So get to 100 videos, improving with each video, whether I improve how I communicate, how I script, how I read the script, how I present information, then editing, right? Sound, visuals, animations, like each new video, I try to learn or try something new. And then after 100 videos, you're gonna have that compounded effect of trying 100 new things, right? Improving 100 different things in your process, from scripting to recording, to editing, to posting, to where then you can niche down. Then you can fine tune your approach even more. So I'm still very broad with my approach. Like, listen, based off of attention, it would make sense for me to niche down into OpenClaw, but that's not my goal. I don't want to box myself in as an OpenClaw channel. The channel is all about making AI simple and easy to use. I know it's broad, but that's the focus. So I haven't yet niched down yet. I still do comparisons. I still do videos for beginners. I still do random Claude videos, Codex videos, Gemini videos. But then I also do a ton of OC content as well because I use it every day. I'm now taking jobs, helping people build their own systems. So my schedule is completely full with between this channel and all the work I do on the side, right? But my approach has not changed. I still have another 28 videos to record and post before the channel really niches down and we reevaluate our approach and get even better, right? So what's the math there? 2 per week, 4 weeks. Listen, I never did good in school with traditional math. This is what our agent's for. Hold up. Hey, if there's 2 videos per week and we have 28 videos left to reach 100 long form videos, how many more weeks is that? Just gonna ask my agent. I do not even want to pull up an LLM or a calculator. 14 weeks. 14 weeks. So that's another 3.5 months. Not bad. Not bad. Wait, what's the math there? 3.5 months means that'll be almost a year since I started my first video. When we first started the channel, it was one video per week, I think for a month, maybe even 2 months. And then I sped it up to 2 videos a week. And I had thought about 3 videos a week, but I really love the 2 video cadence. Yeah, July-ish. Oh, wait, 3 plus 3 though, 3.5, right? 14 weeks, 12 weeks is 3 months. 2 weeks, half, 3.5. So we're in March. So half a month would put us into April. You're right, July. So, wow. I don't know why I thought, yeah, wow. So a little over a year it would have taken me to get to 100 videos. Now we technically are, if you look at the channel, I think we're over 100 videos at this point, but it includes live streams as its count. Like if I go to view our channel, yeah, we're at 104, but that's misleading, right? That includes all the live streams. So, all right, let's go back to it. Done, removed community builds. Oh, that's right. I squirreled. I was testing. Okay. Good. Hit canvas. Failed to convert. All right, we have that same error. When I spec out a build through onboarding, I select it. I try to go to canvas. Same exact error. And this is what's showing in the browser console log. Nice. Now, in the meantime, let's go check browse, make sure it actually did a good job. Yep, it removed the community. And I think ideally, once this grows, I'm almost thinking Claude should have its own OC setup. And not just agents that I add to MuddyOS. But it makes more sense to just add agents to MuddyOS for this. Because now I'm thinking like, I want an agent actively monitoring the feedback tab will incorporate, make improvements to Claude, as well as another agent who's always coming up with new use cases and new OC agent setups and then incorporating them into it without me having to do that, right? Create like more of autonomy here. And then eventually the templates will have industry specific templates. And then you click in the industry and then you get the options for that industry. Oh, I forgot to pin this, but yeah, I read it, just didn't pin it. Link worked, just join. Yeah, hey, appreciate you for being here. Thank you. All I ask, share it with a friend who you think will find this information useful. Derek over here, the true GOAT, the OG. Yo, what's up, Neil? Welcome. Thanks for stopping by. How you doing? What are you building? What are we building today? On screen, we're building Claude. We will launch it by the end of this live stream. Yeah. I mean, so I'll share, like, when I first started, I was making videos that I thought people wanted to see. And I think the true unlock for me as far as getting more visibility, but more importantly, my energy was, I just started making videos that I wanted to make. I started making videos around questions I had that I wanted to answer, right? I found the answer off air, but then I thought, let me make a video out of this, right? So that's still to this day, like I think about what kind of video would I want to see that I wish I could see that's not out there, right? I will be honest, I make content from a selfish first perspective. I think, will I enjoy making this? Do I want to see this, right? And then I think about the audience. And then I think about, okay, will 5 people find this valuable? Does this make AI simple and easy to use? I have certain criteria I follow before a video hits the pipeline. Like today's example that we scripted, right? I don't think there's a basic video to show people how to go from 0 to vibe coding in 15 minutes with all 3 CLIs, right? This is something I want to make. This is something that I wish I could see, right? As a beginner's perspective. So that's been the true unlock, George. I've started a lot of various YouTube channels, and I got over the fear of recording myself a long time ago. So I didn't really have that per se, but it did feel like I was talking to an empty audience. I was talking to a wall. And I wasn't excited about those videos like I am about all the videos since, right? All the videos of me building tools that I'm actually using daily. A lot of these tools in Clearmud OS that I built for content creation, I built in a long form, and I still use that code base. I show you how to build it, right? But like, that's what I want to always keep like focused on, is like, make cool, I want to try not to cuss, make cool videos that I like, that I find useful, and I think other people will find useful. You know, I think that's just like a cause and effect. If I think it's useful, chances are somebody else is going to think it's useful too. Yo, what's up, Dark? Today we're working on Claw Crib primarily. We're doing a bit of ideation. Came up with this script I'm going to add to the queue. Got to create some thumbnails for it. And then next in the queue, as you can see here, these are the videos that I might push the deep dive to next week. I might sneak this one in there, but tomorrow's is most likely going to be a video around cron jobs, because I don't see a specific video around cron jobs teaching people how to improve their automations. So I'm making one for that. And we already have this awesome. So I also created this morning, I had been using my MuddyOS front-end design skill for all of my visual props. But this morning I took the time to create a front-end design skill with certain characteristics to where with certain videos that I need visual props, I just ask my agent, hey, create a visual prop based off of this front-end design skill and everything discussed in that video. So it came up with this awesome follow along where I'm also gonna reference MuddyOS to kind of show right from wrong. But I'm just loving, like, now it's like all of the visual aids that I do, I don't even have to do it manually. I used to do visual aids like all these other creators are doing in Excalidraw or TLDraw. Listen, I think that's great, but I don't want to just follow the train, right? I'd rather have my agent build me a nice landing page that I can follow along and talk through, rather than these sketches that I feel like are being oversaturated in the kind of YouTube market right now. I feel like people are going to get tired of those sketches sooner than later. So I really want to like start the new trend of just creating custom landing pages for video to walk through what we're talking about. So I'm super excited to record this one tomorrow though. All right, we're waiting for that to finish. What else? I feel like, let's go through some ideation here a little bit more. Wow, I haven't ran this in 5 days. I usually run this every week. All right, that actually pans out. As long as it's not over 7 days since I ran this. Let's see its ideas on cron jobs. See if we can improve tomorrow's video. Hey, I love that. I believe in being honest with everyone here. Listen, that's my approach. I'll never try to sugarcoat things. I'll never try to clickbait you. I'll never try to lie to you. Sure, some of my titles might use bold words to try to capture your attention, but I will never kind of jump on the bandwagon saying, I'm just not going to say what I was about to say because I don't want to make it sound like I'm dogging on other people. Listen, I respect the hustle of every single channel out there. I just don't agree with all the approaches. So I take the best of each. I get inspiration from here and there, and then, you know, I'm taking my unique approach. No, there's technically, as far as I know, there's no unlimited plan. You do get capped. You do get capped. I think it's crazy vital to make stuff that you enjoy, that you want, even if it's selfish. It's the key to long-term sustainability. Make stuff and you'll find your people, love your vibe. Hey, I appreciate you, Neo. Thanks for this. I love this. Couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah, it's quote unquote unlimited, but it's not. listen, my first few weeks of using Claude Max, I maxed it out in days. Yes, it was crazy. Now I get to about 80%, 90% consistently. But I also monitor my daily use. And now it's like I do less building and I do more operations with my OC setups. So, you know, those first few weeks, I was really testing. I was building things, starting over, building things, starting over. Like I can't tell you how many times I started with a fresh OC setup because I didn't like the direction it was going, or I learned a valuable lesson and I said, you know, I don't like this. I'm just going to start from scratch. That's just my brain. I love this. Like I love being Dexter's laboratory, building things, testing things, even if I don't plan on using it. I lose track of time this way, but you know, it just adds to my experience and the ability to know what I'm talking about. Hey, let's go. Right on. Okay. I would do this live, but I probably shouldn't because I don't want to expose any private keys for the bots. So we'll get that working though soon. Yeah. Hey, I mean, let's touch on this a little bit. Listen, like, yes, I guess there's technically bad ideas, but it's not really a bad idea until you test it and try it and see for yourself, right? I have a lot of bad ideas, quote unquote. I have a lot of ideas that I get to a point in the process where I realize it's just not going to stick. I realize I don't have the energy for it, or maybe there's not a good market fit after initially thinking so. But yeah, it's like you just have to take action and figuring it out along the way. I highly doubt anybody's going to create their first thing and have it be a success, $1 million a year type revenue thing. You have to go through that trial and error of just building out bad ideas, as you say. Agents episode 3, Goat OS hype. Let's go. Yeah, I'm hyped for it too. That's a good thing. But that's also, so this is also a place for you to evaluate too. So I believe from the 100 to the 200, it's a 5x. So let's say you're not even getting anywhere close to 20x or 20% on your weekly Claude Max $200 a month plan. Well, if you want to save some money and you're not reaching 20% every week, go down to that max $100. The $200 is a given if you're obviously breaking through that threshold, right? No, I think you're maybe more thoughtful about your approach and you don't just blindly go into things to build them to see how it would end up, right? I'm that type of person. I will go down rabbit holes and I will not sleep until I reach the end. I don't use OC, so that could be why. Yeah, I mean, OC is actually more efficient than people think, but you can get to a point where if you let your memory files build up to a point, especially your user context, if you don't do any type of compacting or trimming, yes, I experienced a glitch. There was also a glitch though. This was around the same time where Claude Code publicly announced, hey, we're pushing a hotfix to Claude Code. Please update, you know, your package on your system, because it was actually chewing through more usage due to some internal bug. But I was literally going through 1% of my weekly per prompt. It was wild. I was like, what is going on here? This can't be right? But that was right around the same time. Hey, if you teach me how to pronounce it, I'll nail it. But until then, I'm just going to use the first 4 letters and call you Mert, if that's okay. Let me know. If you're in the Discord, let me know the pronunciation, and I promise I'll get it down. Can I say it? Oh, you're responding to Mert? Okay. Yeah, what you see is what you get with me. Derek knows. Derek has been a true OG. He's been watching this channel since I 1-2 viewers live, and he was one of those 2 viewers, and then we kind of grew up to 5, then back down to 1 or 2, and it was just like ranging between 1 and 5 live viewers. Derek's been around since day 1. I don't know when he found the channel, but he feels like a day 1, like sub 10 subscriber. Yeah, bad ideas are a part of the process. This is a good question. I think yes and no, right? Older entrepreneurs are not as tech oriented. So maybe managing that OC setup might be overwhelming for them. But if you build it in a way where it truly solves pain points and frees up their time, I think they'll find real value in it for sure. For sure. And then if they don't mind paying a maintenance contract, to have you or your team of, let's say you do a completely separate OC setup that maintains all of the OC builds you deploy, that's also a nice little hack right there. I think so. I think you just got to find that tribe who's willing to pay for that, right? But I feel like depending on how old you're thinking here, it's like I feel like there's a certain cutoff with age and technical expertise and exposure of willingness to adapt as well. It's like you just gotta. I don't think it's gonna work for everybody, but I think you'll find a nice selection of people in that target audience for sure. What was it? I'm curious. Automate my entire morning with one AI cron job. 7 OpenClaw cron jobs you should set up right now. Ooh, I kind of like that listicle format. I let my AI agent run my business for 7 days. How to fix them. I'm not even going to scroll down. I kind of like this one here. So we're going to select this idea. We're going to go to script it. Let's reset and run script. I would say try the $20 a month plan, but chances are, depending on how frequently you reach that 5-hour window, you might just have to bite the bullet for the $200 a month plan. I'll have more input on this in the coming weeks. I am upgrading from the $20 a month plan to the $200 a month plan. I don't know if I'm going to record this process, but I'm going to build a fresh OC setup for a specific use case using only GPT 5.4 because through my tests, and just community feedback, I've been hearing a lot of good things. I've been loving the way it executes with 5.4 versus 5.3. I love the speed. It's improved quite a bit, but I know if I try to set up an OC setup, I'll max out within an hour of my 5-hour on the $20 plan with my approach and what I have in mind. So, but the benefit that OpenAI has over every other model, they openly allow subs to be connected to their OC agents. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to go check out that post in a second. Yeah, you got to get the data too. You got to talk to them about their pain points, especially if you have those types of relationships. And hosting free lives, I don't know, like depending on the target audience, maybe they're not in the X Live ecosystem, but like, having these fireside chats with like-minded individuals for your target audience, I think would be very beneficial to you as well, because you get a better understanding of like what they're scared of, what their concerns are, how to tackle those, how to then work around them or address them, right? Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that one. And let's go check that latest post. Was it on X, Derek? Hold on, let me pull it up on another screen here. And let's see, is this ready yet? Okay, let's test it, shall we? Hard refresh, build, 2.3, support, Discord, Gemini. Okay, I'd show this post, but there's some profanity. And since I don't want to show profanity on the channel. I'm really trying to monitor my the way I speak as well, because sometimes words will slip out. But let me read through this. I see why you didn't post in the whole post, Derek. I see why. On point. On point. And you can tell he typed this because there's a typo. AI did not type this, I don't think. Yeah. Delusionally consistent. I love that. You're right. This is the first I agree with in a while. Great. Solid. Yeah. Solid. You can use it with caution, right? So Claude is very vague. They do not address anything head on. They beat around the bush from what I've noticed. There's rumors that your Claude sub would get banned if you use it. Listen, I haven't found anybody specific like validating this. I think it's just, what's the word I'm looking for? A combination of people who either hate OpenClaw for some reason, don't believe in it, and want to see it fail, posting bullshit. Excuse my language. They haven't openly come out and said you cannot use it, right? So proceed with caution from that perspective. When it comes to the amount of tokens you get, right? The allowance of weekly and 5-hour windows, I guess it depends on what you're going to be doing, what you're going to be building. From my experience, a $20 a month plan, I maxed out in 45 minutes building from scratch. Now, maintaining an existing setup, it might work without any usage limits. I can't, yeah. I wish I could be more helpful with that comment. Satyam. I hope I pronounced that correctly as well. I love it. I love it. Let's keep that energy going. All right. Let's use this config. Go to Canvas, and it does not show anything. Wonderful. Use this config. Ooh, edit in Canvas. Nope. Yeah, so going through the build onboarding, we get the output in chat. I press use this config at the bottom. There's a button at the bottom that says edit in Canvas, but it does not show all of the modules we incorporated, all of the channels, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not accurate. Additionally, there's also a toggle up top, chat in Canvas. It gives me the same output. So maybe we need to take the approach of creating like an engine, a logic that analyzes the code base, generated from chat, and then, goes through a checklist of making sure that it visually, the canvas visually represents whatever is in the chat window. What's a better approach that we can take here? Nice. Yeah. So I actually loved anti-gravity at first. This is not me saying don't use it. Let's actually try to open it. I have been running into issues. I stopped trying to use it because it was just so buggy. I even removed all anti-gravity data from my computer to make sure there wasn't any like stale installs or config files on the back end. I still can't get it to work. I went down a rabbit hole for like 2 hours, removing, reinstalling, right? Going through all the steps to make sure suggested command line commands to run in the terminal to remove all temp data. And for some reason, every time I spin up a new folder with my anti-gravity sub, with my Google AI Ultra sub, it just doesn't prompt. It feeds me back this standard error that a lot of people are complaining about. Not everybody's running into it, but I'm going to try. I'm downloading an update right now. Let's see if I can get it to work. If it's working now, I'll start using anti-gravity again. But I have been unable to use it because it's just buggy on my machine. And to be clear, like, it's not my account because I can spin it up on a Windows laptop just fine. Yeah. So big fail from Google there. But they don't care about me. I'm a small guy, a little guy. Hey, yeah, thanks for stopping by, George. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Cheers. Now I'm curious. Let's go in, shall we? Ultra is a folder I created just for this testing. Build me a landing page for a wait list. Every time. Agent execution terminated due to error. This is the same error I've been running into for, like, I've given up. I just don't even want to use it anymore. This is going to lead me to either downgrading my Gemini sub or just canceling altogether because I can't even utilize anti-gravity. It's really annoying. I'm just not going to waste time on live stream right now. If anyone has any suggestions, maybe they ran into the same thing where they were installing it, reinstalling it, and you're running into that same error, please let me know what you did to fix it because I am now sworn off of anti-gravity. Even though I freaking loved it my first few weeks of using it. Let's double check. I just blindly read through that. Okay, let's give it a test, shall we? Solo, let's do a 5-agent team. Let's do everything but home automation. Let's do these 3 channels and Claude. Use this config, edit in Canvas. Nope. Yeah, the edit in Canvas is still not working. I'm gonna paste in this chat just to show you. I hit use config and we're still getting the same output. Oh shoot, I totally just pasted that before the text, didn't I? Keep forgetting on my docking station, I have a full length keyboard. I don't know the hotkeys on the Mac for home and end, but usually I'm just on my Mac and don't have this full keyboard with me. I'm running on Kimi 2.5 on VPS thanks to NVIDIA. It's been incredible learning. Yeah, exactly. Don't let budget stop you. Try the free models out, you know? Love it. Thanks for the input. Thanks for sharing. All right. Didn't want to show that on screen. Let's go What's up, Busy? Welcome. How you doing today? Happy Monday. That's right. I forgot we were doing a little bit of ideation recently. Kind of like in strategy 1 or strategy 2. Yeah. One it is. Why, is this a known bug? What does it say? I'm curious. All right, let's give it a test here. Hard refresh. Keep this open just in case we see some other errors. 2 to 3, support content. Use this config, edit in Canvas. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Some slight overlap here, but not bad, not bad, not bad. Look, it has our distribution channels to visualize things. Interesting. Capability. Wouldn't this be something else though? All right, it's working, but it's not accurate. So for each of the agents, you create them as capabilities when they should be agent nodes, right? Because they're essentially agents, right, with their own workspaces. So we need to fine tune that in the logic. I also want you to take this moment because our Canvas components might be outdated. I want you to please reference docs.openclaw.ai for all of the components and capabilities during the onboarding flow of setting up an OC setup, and then make sure things are wired in correctly to where if we go and build something through chat and then we want to visualize it in the canvas, it actually uses the proper component depending on what it is they've configured in the chat. No, they didn't. I know what you're talking about. Did they word for word say OpenClaw? It was very vague 2 weeks ago is my point I'm making. They have not. I have been keeping an eye on it. Nobody from the team, there has not been a specific we ban OpenClaw usage. Nothing. Like Gemini and Google came out and said it, right, with their anti-gravity OAuth. But I'm hearing people can still get away with it with Gemini CLI because of the way that it prompts, right? I have not seen, and correct me if I'm wrong, please, if I'm wrong, give me a link to the post. But I have not seen one representative from Anthropic, nor the official Anthropic account specifically saying we're banning usage for OpenClaw on all of our subs. It is not, it's a rumor. They're very vague is my point, right? So listen, proceed with caution, but they have not said it to my knowledge specifically. The problem is enough people start saying it and then people don't do the research and then they just believe whoever said it. That's a problem I see in the space. It's like there's a lot of rumors out there that are not validated, that are not legit. It's just everybody keeps repeating the same thing and then it just becomes fact when it's in fact not fact. It's very misleading. Go back to chat. But hey, if I'm wrong, give me that post. I want to see word for word them banning OpenClaw because Anthropic is so dang vague. They just won't come out and say it, right? And I think they know better. I think it's shooting themselves in the foot. I think they would lose a lot of their monthly revenue from people just boycotting them if that happens. Yeah, he was referencing the vague post. They did not specifically come out and say it. And until they do, I'm not going to presume that they banned it, right? Yo, what's up, Cozy? Welcome back. Yeah, staying consistent. Good to see you back. Hope you're doing well. Is ready? No, it's not. Let's do a quick let's finish this portion of it. But yeah, Satyam, like, thank you for stopping by and sharing that, right? If it were true, I would be screaming it from the rooftops. But listen, like, it's so vague. It wasn't directly directed at OpenClaw. As soon as they get clear with their communication, then I'll believe it. But I think that whole announcement was suspiciously, and rightfully so, right, timed with OpenClaw's popularity. But I think they were more so addressing certain vulnerabilities and bad actors taking advantage of their max subs in a different way, right? That wasn't not necessarily solely focused on OpenClaw. But listen, like, proceed with caution because Anthropic has been so dang vague, like, but they haven't come out and said it. They have not come out and said it. Anybody telling you specifically that they said word for word OpenClaw banned them, to my knowledge, is false, right? Yeah, that's all I'm going to say on the topic. All right. Close that. Derek, I saw your DM. This is insane. I think I'm only gonna pull Ted's character though, because because I don't know if I need like let's see. I don't think I need all the characters, right? But thank you. I appreciate you for sending this over. Let's see. Ooh, unless we just do a beard one, that would be a great avatar. Okay, I might actually have to feed the whole thing. I love the way this is connected here. All right, what's going on, Claude? I'm shocked Claude's taking so long on this go. Let's go back to that video in the meantime. Let's add to calendar. Let's go check it out. Okay. There's a weird bug in my chat. Now for that most recent script that we prepped, I'd like to create a visual prop for recording. So based on our front-end design skill, go ahead and create a landing page for us to follow along when we record tomorrow, please. And thank you. Let's actually just go into the full chat there. Jeez, Claude, big session here, 7 minutes. Kind of wild. I don't know, I'm kind of feeling an espresso. I didn't do my normal pre-stream espresso today. I usually drink one right before we start. I think it's my body normally used to, because I'm now streaming an hour early than I normally do because of the time change on one side of the world versus the other. and that'll catch up at the end of the month. I mean, it's doing its thing. I did ask it to do a lot. I'm just shocked it's taken 8 minutes. But look, it is actually, it's being very thorough here. Wow, okay. We're about to see here. And then once I get to a point where I like it, we're gonna have Codex analyze the code base, do a security audit, and then we'll deploy, assuming all is well. We can close GOAT. Weird glitch in my custom chat. No, it looks like it's still working on it, so I'll wait for a response. Let's go back to Clearmud OS, exit. I think what I'm gonna do is put that at the top. Well, I could have sworn I did that earlier. Did that not save? That's gonna be very annoying. No, it has persistent memory. It's weird how that moved itself down. Okay. I'm also curious, did I already run? I didn't, did I? That should be automatic. Let's see. Let's share, copy, throw this in here. Yeah, for anybody just tuning in, I launched this free tool. It's still in beta. Looking forward to feedback, but it allows you to paste in any YouTube video, live stream, or long form, and it'll first analyze if it's AI related content, if there's extractable prompts from the content, and you essentially just scan it, and it gives you, I'm still improving the logic on the back end, but it gives you copy paste of prompts based off of what was discussed in the live stream, which I think is a pretty fun tool, and it's free. Oh yeah, I mean, because I do a lot of vibe coding on Fridays and Mondays, so give a link to hosting provider, what vulnerabilities could occur. Yeah, like I'm sure I can improve the logic, but yeah, it's a fun tool, so you're welcome to come in. It's a place for you to also come and view our past videos to get prompts from our videos, but if you paste in a channel across YouTube, it will first determine, I tested this, not thoroughly, but I tested it enough to ensure that you can't just paste any video and get a response. It's got to be AI focused, right? And as you can see here, nothing but AI related videos. Looks like someone's been running some. Let's see. Ultimate Beginner's Guide to OpenClaw. 72 hours to success. Let's go check this one. I'm going to perform a 15-minute brain dump. I want you to capture who I am, what I do, what matters to me, why I want to use OpenClaw. Love that. I want you to be marked down first. All of the thoughts that I gather that are important, I want you to make sure that you put into a markdown that you're taking note of the important things we talk about. Okay? Logs, write a script for security. Okay, not bad, not bad. Yeah, I've been finding myself watching videos less, and I'll just come and paste in a video and like instead of watching it. Let's see. Claude skills that self-improve forever. Ooh, that's a great video title. Hey, I want you to improve the skill using the method discussed in auto research. It's all of the text in the diagram. I want you to auto research conviction. Okay. I don't really see how they self-improve based off of these prompts, but so the title's kind of misleading to the prompts, but still great prompts. Great prompts. Wow. Yeah, the one thing this tool can't do right now is Like let's say you say copy, screenshot this prompt on screen, it'll detect that in the video, and like if you click on the video, each prompt has a timestamp, and you click it, it takes you to that timestamp as well. So I had to apply, right? And that's for like, not only to verify the prompt is legit, but also anytime a creator says, screenshot this prompt on screen, you'll see here, look, visual prompt on screen, right? So all you do is click that. So I had to, and then you can screenshot the screen, right? So I hope you guys, listen, let me know the feedback of this tool. If you were unaware of this, I shipped this in 2 days live. Prompt Browser was originally a domain I bought back in August, and the version 1 of it, I just had no energy for it. It was too complicated. There was so many other databases and directories doing a much better job. So I kind of put it on hold until recently, where I thought, oh, what if it just allows you to scan a YouTube video and extract prompts, right? Doing it for Clearmud first. And then I enabled the feature for just the entire ecosystem. You don't need to create an account. You don't need to pay for it. It automatically adds every video that's scanned to its public database. And Convex is being used on the back end for this. And then I'm using Gemini 3.1 Flashlight Pro, or 3.1 Flashlight for this. Pretty fun. I love it. It was we put this together between a Sunday and a Monday, and we shipped it live. I built the same thing, but hit or miss. If it gives me a full transcript, I need to fix, but it's my, yeah. So building it locally, like I primarily use YT DLP, but YT DLP has rate limiting issues with your IP address. Since I use it for a lot of my internal ops, I ran into issues with, oh, you retracted the message. I was like, why are messages disappearing? I ran into an issue with this tool being run. I couldn't essentially get away with it. So I started paying $5 a month for 1,000 API calls from transcriptapi.com. This is not an advertisement. It was just a tool that was cheap enough for me to use to test. It's been pretty solid to where it doesn't interfere with my internal ops that use the free YT-DLP proxy that allows you to download transcripts. All right. Wait a second. No! Son of a. Yeah, I should have been more specific. So I want you to recover that cron jobs HTML, because that's a video prop for a different video. Call this actionable cron jobs, right? This new build. I really hope you can recover that. I know you can. Just please revert that, because the original cron jobs HTML was perfect as is. We wanted to create a different one, right? God damn muddy. Excuse my language. Yeah, I pay $5 a month for it, I think. And then I made sure not to overcharge me, right? If the tool does gain traction and thousands of people use it and try to abuse it. There are certain basic rate limiting in place, but it's very basic, right? All right, let's see. What's up, Alls? 011S Alls. I almost wanted to call you Ollie. I'm using Whisperflow. If you check the YouTube bio, I did put a link. This is not a paid promo. I literally use it every day. But if you click that link, and I think if you transcribe 2,000 words, we both get a month of Pro for free, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I just have a F1 bind hotkey, and it's flawless. Yeah, over the months of using it, I've had to train certain words, right? But for the most part, it nails it 10 times out of 10. 9.9 times out of 10. Let's be transparent here. Ooh, that was a big one. Let's test, shall we? Okay, there we go. Perfect. Just gonna tell it to label it that instead. All right. Let's go back in here. Hard refresh, 2 to 3 agents. marketing content support. Label all these, Claude. Ah, yes, it's a settings feature. You can enable a feature that, where is it? It's somewhere in there that it shows on screen to let you know that you're transcribing. Because sometimes I either don't hit it correctly or you'd be surprised how many times I accidentally didn't have it enabled and I would vibe an entire voice to text and nothing appeared because I didn't actually have it enabled for that the bind. So that's why I have it showing on screen to indicate to me that it's working. Use this config. Let's go edit in Canvas. Look at that. These are actually agent bots. Yes. This is starting to work a lot sooner than I thought. I love it. All right. So let's now go and recap these templates. Edit in Canvas. Oh my goodness. These are insane. All right. Yeah, my first test worked. I think we're at a point where we need to start getting community feedback, right? We need them to break it, find bugs, share bugs so we can fix it. So with that being said, I want to add a feedback tab where people can come in and post their bugs that they discover, things that may not be working correctly, that we can log and essentially reference to fix, right? What's the best approach here? Do we just create a rolling kind of board of posts that people have to sign in to post? I don't want to manage a whole bunch of emails. I don't want that type of inbound. I think it should be something visible also for other people to upvote and detect that somebody pointed out the bug so they don't get repetitive, right? And then I think having some type of checker to where if somebody posts a bug, but it's already discussed or brought up, that it lets them know, hey, we're just going to upvote this bug first or this feedback because it's identical or similar to what you're suggesting. And then on top of that, our templates, when you did your big overhaul not too long ago, did you make sure to go through all of the components used in the existing templates that we had in Browse? If not, please go through that very slowly, very methodically to improve all of those config and canvas views, please. All right, that's a big one. And hey, listen, I wanna keep going for a little longer today, so I'm gonna go grab an espresso real quick. Give me 5 minutes. I'll be back. I'll answer this question before I go grab this espresso. Quick question about OpenClaw memory. Are you using other things? I'm personally not. I do a weekly maintenance on my memory files. I also utilize skills a ton. And once I successfully, create a skill for a certain automation, I then, after that point, I have my OC agent sift through all memory files and remove any redundant data that we moved into the skill, right? So I essentially set up my crons with the basic context as far as time frame, frequency, model used, et cetera, and then all of the details of the step-by-step, what to do, fail-safes, guardrails, et cetera, are all in the skill. I found that alone has saved me on per prompt usage, whereas incorporating all of these details into the cron, they then have to reference your MD files. It gets very messy and you use a lot more. That's a long-winded answer. Now, I did see Peter post about something and it's in my to-do. Where is it? I think it's this one here. Lossless Claw. He actually retweeted this. Apparently, Lossless Claw context management plugin for OpenClaw based on LCM paper and Voltropy replaces OpenClaw's built-in sliding window compaction with DAG-based summarization system that preserves every message while keeping active context within model token limits. So this is on my list to test. I haven't gotten around to it, but I hope this brings some value to you. If you do get around to testing it before I do, let me know in the Discord how it goes. Like, I'd love to know what your experience with this, this tool is. All right, I'm gonna go grab that espresso, do a little quick bio break, and I'll be back. Because I want to go at least another hour here today. Even though that delays my dinner, I want to go another hour. All right. Burp. All right. Thanks for waiting. Now I'm feeling energized. Nice, nice. So you've tested it, Sharma. Great. Yeah, skills is the true unlock. I'm gonna keep hammering away at this with videos. Tomorrow's video that talks about crons, right? In my opinion, the right way and wrong way to do a cron highlights skills and gives a template as well. Man, the weather's so nice today. It's like, oh, I do not want to leave. Weren't we waiting on something from Muddy as well? Yes, we were. Let's go check that out. I have to move this one in here. We might push back Muddy Deep Dive. Let's put that at the end. And we might make this week a cron focused week. All right, feedback board. Ooh, let's go. Feedback upvotes, sign in required. Oh, loving it. All right, let's focus. Unexpected error occurred, huh? You know, I think a lot of these companies, right, they're being proactive. I think N8N is going to essentially have its own OC wrapper or harness to where they try to simplify the process, right? Because I know, especially early on, it was like N8N was very like gate kept as far as like how to truly, because it takes a lot to learn how to automate things through N8N. So I think they do come out with their own solution if they're not already teasing it. I don't know. Yeah, it's unless they're just not being proactive, unless they made all the money they wanted to make and they slowly fizzle out, you know? I think it's definitely too early to tell, but I'd be shocked if they don't incorporate some type of N8N agent offering, right? Savory oyster. Why am I not logged in? Give me a second here. Looks like the same exact errors. So I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to paste in the errors. Yeah, so Rapid Mockingbird is our production database, and Savory Oyster is the development database. I'm not opposed to you configuring everything. We need to seed the data from Savory Oyster to Rapid Mockingbird. I'm not opposed to making that our primary, even in staging for now. All right. Yeah, we will set up a proper staging environment, I think, on Friday's live stream. But since we are just vibing, like, let's just work out of one database for now. Oh, was it not? Why is it doing 0 dot? It's a weird bug. All right, nice first go on the 7 cron prompts. I think what we also need to do now is we need to pick 7 crons that we're gonna highlight and also give prompts, master prompts to the viewers. So I want you to add a section there so that we can easily copy paste. Very similar to how you did with the AI mission control HTML preview. Right? At the very bottom, we have these comprehensive prompts on how people can execute themselves. I think we can do something very similar for this 7 cron jobs visual guide here. Okay, refresh page, it should load. Nice, new post. Oh, I'm not signed in, okay. Great. Oh, and it does forward me. So listen, it's gonna be buggy, but I think we are at a point where we can just ship it live. Shall we? Shall we? Is it time? I think it's time. I think it's time. All right. First things first, though. All right. I'm getting ready to ship this live to production. However, in production, we use Rapid Mockingbird. So what are the steps we got to take to seed the data properly? I'm going to first analyze the code base, do a security audit with Codex. But after that, I want to give you the green light to merge to main on our Git. I just want to know the proper steps to take to make sure that you know, A, we're using the production database, Rapid Mockingbird, and B, making sure that all of the work that we've done here on Savory Oyster gets seeded into Rapid Mockingbird. All right. We're just going to go live with it. We'll get feedback. Let's double check Vercel, shall we? Wait a second. That's right. Muddy handled all that deployment. Let's go GitHub. Rather Vercel. Yeah, it's all handled by Muddy. That's right. Okay. Shoot. Because I know I originally built this out with Muddy. But I also, I don't need to give it access to Vercel. Let's just make sure. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I guess it's in settings, right? Variables. Looks like there's two. Yeah, there's two. We can remove this. Oh, preview, that's why. And then if I hit, yeah, that's production. Okay, okay. So we don't need to do anything. All right, give me a second. Let me run a security audit with Codex. Please analyze this code base. It's a free resource we're launching for the OpenClaw community. It's built primarily with Gemini 3.1 Pro and Claude's Opus 4.6. I want you to analyze the code base, do a quick security audit, get it ready for production. Let me know if there's any vulnerabilities. Let's fix them along the way. And yeah, do what you do best. Yes, yes, they are. So I technically have a total of 6 agents with their own workspaces in Muddy OS. And then I have a wave of sub-agents that are just predefined sessions that are temporary. But they all feed from, you know, I have certain, think of it like departments or divisions that feed off of the parent agent's workspace and all of those files associated. So while technically speaking, sub-agents don't have their own persistent memory, they do in a way if you have them configured to be spawned by that particular department head. So that's how I have mine configured. So then in total, I have like well over 20 agents working. But technically speaking, only 6 of those have their own workspaces. See, it should be done by now. It's wired. Love how this looks. Love how this looks. Nice. Okay, this is what I wanted. Copy paste a crons for the community. Okay, morning brief. AI news scanner, automated backups, systems health check, content cascade. All right, so I love the first one, morning brief. I know it's kind of oversaturated with everyone giving everybody morning brief. AI news scanner, I think that's great. Automated backups, I do want to put an emphasis on that. Systems health checker. But then I think what we can do here, instead of content cascade and competitor scanner, I want to replace those crons with giving people self-improvement crons for their primary OS. So our Muddy OS self-improvement cron plus skill, we should incorporate here. And then for number 6, let's do a Saturday vision sync. It might be a little too advanced, actually. Let's do a weekly review brief. I feel like that's more appropriate for beginners and us covering morning briefs and evening briefs, right? Yeah, let me know if you have any questions there, Muddy. Let's actually remove that Gemini tab because we don't need it. Gemini is more so for visuals in the Learn section on Cloudcrib. And since we're not deploying any new ones today, we're okay. Yeah, they all use one gateway, one sandboxed environment. Yes and no. They can, but you do need to set up some rules, some automations in place, some crons in place for it to work however you want it to work. Me, for example, every morning, my C-suite team, all of my independent agents come together and they go over a rolling PM board that they only have access to, right? That they can kind of keep track of things that I complete on the side versus things that they want to add, that they want to self-improve on or execute on based on what the priorities are. They all feed off of a shared context for me, my vision for Clearmud, short, medium, and long. And then I recently incorporated, and then they also have Sundays, they have the weekly sync where they review the week, see if there's anything that is stale, see if there's anything that kept getting backlogged that we need to add as a critical priority. And then additionally, now on Saturdays, I originally gave them the day off, but I configured this new cron, this new skill, right? That it's only vision. They focus on big picture. It's not on operations. It's not on the PM board. It is based off of, okay, they do reference what was completed and where we are as far as like signal versus noise mindset, but they think more vision and then they give recommendations per vision on Saturdays, which I think is, I just incorporated that this past weekend. And I gotta say the first meeting, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. But yeah, I haven't yet tested connecting separate OC agents together, right? Separate sandboxed VMs together. That's one thing I can't speak to right now. But I will in the coming month or two. Once I get back to California and repurpose this old server of mine, I can, you know, I'm gonna be able to easily run 10 plus, comfortably 8, but I can probably squeeze out 12 OC setups out of that, that old hardware. It's just getting to work. Okay, public write access. Thank you. Replace the weak API key hashing without breaking existing keys. Thank you. Nice. All right, I'm just gonna let it run. Codex is the GOAT for this. And I just wanted to make sure the fixes that you're applying here for convex specifically, it doesn't matter what database we're using, it has to follow these changes, correct? Okay. Perfect. And this is just to gain some clarity, right? They're database agnostic. Yeah, a lot of that, like, listen, a lot of it is configuring, like, think about how you want your setup to work, right? And then work on one automation. Once that's dialed in, layer in another, right? For me, it wasn't like all autonomous like some people claim out the gate. Maybe they're just genius prompters, right? Or maybe they're misleading you. It's one or the other. But in my experience, you have to define what automations you want. You have to define how you want them to act, what their job is, what their roles are, right? And then you have to set those schedules for them to actually work without waiting for you to prompt, right? Codex is for backend security audits. So I like building things out in Claude Code, but then when it comes to shipping something to production, Codex is just very intelligent. And this is a common pairing in the industry where people will vibe code in one terminal with Claude, whatever front end code base, and then they do a quick audit before you push it to production so that, Codex is very good at security. So it already discovered a lot of vulnerabilities here that people could have manipulated, certain people, not everybody, right? So this is why I'm using this pairing. But I don't use them at the same time, you notice. They're both spun up right now, but now that I'm using Codex, I'm not prompting Claude because I don't want them working on the same code base side by side because they could be undoing each other's work, right? All right, so we're ready for production. I don't need to worry about anything else from you. I can go back to Claude to commit to Git. It's funny how my question in my voice didn't. Yeah, I was asking you. I'd like you to get this thing ready. So do what you need to do. You have my green light. And right, a lot of this is vibing, right? Like, I'm sure there's a master prompt out there that'll do all this in one go, but I really like understanding what it's doing and why it's doing it. So I really like taking these steps and these back and forths with Codex and even Claude. Because copy pasting a master prompt, it doesn't teach us anything, right? But if we work through the steps, we actually learn more. And that's why I'm prompting Codex this way. Check my reminders. I already had that. Okay. Solid. Yeah, and another little trick of doing it this way as well, as you notice on my right-hand side, I spun up a dev server here in Claude Code side. Everything that Codex is doing real time, I don't have to spin up another dev server to see these changes, to validate that the app still works after the fact. I can just go and test after it's done. Material, better shape. Okay. Rate limiting is still in memory, so it won't hold up perfectly under multi-instance deployment. There's still mini unit check that. All right, looks like Codex finished all of its work. Here's what it said. I'd like to take this opportunity to have you run a final security audit pass before we commit and merge to main here. All right, so I'm essentially doing 2 layers here. Might be overkill, but hey. All right, let's just do a quick test, make sure everything still works. Build solo marketing Slack. Works. Browse. Edit in Canvas. Works. Learn still works. Help still works. Running locally, not VPS. Oh, this is where I was supposed to paste in my OpenClaw.json. Nice. Feedback. Looks like when I hit new post, oh, it's trying to go to the main. Yep, I see what it's doing. Okay. Yeah, I think we're ready to commit, merge to main. But we also need to make sure that we seed all data from our, what was it called? Savory Oyster to Rapid Mockingbird for convex, please. Handle it. Let's get it. All right. We are almost ready for you to start testing this tool. Now, it's going to be buggy out the gate. Listen, I'm not promising a perfect tool, but I'm looking forward to everybody's feedback here. And then I'm going to make it a point to, I'm not sure if it's going to be every Monday or every Friday, but we're going to create one new visual per week at least. And we'll do it here live on the channel in the learn section here. Oh, this looks like some old data. One note I'm noticing here is, like on the Learn tab, if you go down to practical implementations, there looks to be some old demo data from back when it was a share your crib feature. I thought we got rid of this. And then additionally, I think maybe we should do a share call to action, but say coming soon, because it is something I want to incorporate down the road. But we don't want to give access to all these old demo kind of cribs because they don't bring any value to anybody. Yeah, I know. It is what it is. Like, I'd love to. I think a workaround is maybe deploying it in a VM, but I don't want to have to spin up a VM when I should be able to work out of IDEs on my main workstation. So I do plan on upgrading this MacBook later this year after the M5 comes out, the M5 Max, because then the M4s will be significantly cheaper. So I'll snag a nice refurbished one on the market once those prices come down. There's no reason for me to get the M5 because from the M1 to the M4, it's such a massive jump. I don't want to pay top dollar for an M5. There's no point. Not for me, at least. Ooh, I'm getting hungry. What's for dinner, everybody, today? Or wow. Tough to talk when I'm hungry, huh? What's for dinner? What's on the menu for everybody tonight? I'm curious. I need some ideas. I think I already know what I'm gonna make, but I'm just curious on what everybody here likes to eat. I hope this data exported properly. I'm kind of concerned it didn't pull everything we just did, so let's see. Let's wait for that green light. Check. Good. Let's go to the website. Bam! We are live. So let's test this, shall we? clawcrib.com, builder. Let's go next. Let's go support. Let's go WhatsApp. Let's go Gemini, generate config. Builder AI not available. Okay, that's what I thought. Now, there's a clear disconnect here. In production, testing a build doesn't work. Please reference the screenshot in the console logs here. And let me drag on that screenshot there. Oh, that's my mistake. Let me go set that key. That's my mistake. That's 110% on me. I forgot to do that. Oh, whoops. All right, I do have to take Muddy off screen so I don't expose this. Boop. Value. I want to add collaborator, add Muddy. I don't know why I didn't think about doing this before. I'm going to add a shared Google Keep note with Muddy and myself. Voila. Call it vars. Get API, ClawCrib API. Post that in there. Pin it. Ooh, actually. If I ever show this on screen, I'm gonna have to redo those. That'll be a bummer. So now, voila, open note, copy, paste, and we'll do all environments for that one since it's the same for both. Perfect. And then we do have to redeploy with that API key. Redeploy. Yeah, what's going on? Why is it trying to pull from that? It's because I didn't refresh that page. Is it? Redeploy from 4 minutes ago. There we go. No more errors. Okay. Should work in momentarily. View deployment. All right. Now we can pull this back on screen here.
computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Perfect. Hard refresh, 2 to 3 agents, marketing content, WhatsApp, Discord, Telegram, Claude, generate. Voila, we are live in production. Let's go. Use this config, edit in Canvas. Voila, that works. Let's go to browse, use template, edit in Canvas. Okay, learn works, help. Running into device identity pairing error, help. Look at this, troubleshooting steps, wonderful. Let's go to feedback, new post. Oh. Did I delete that? Let's go back. Let's try to sign in on the button. Nope. All right, the sign in option is broken. We get forwarded to this page. What do we have to configure? I could have sworn I set this up already in the past, but maybe we disabled it. All right. That's weird. It's a little buggy, but this will work. HTTPS. Let's go to deployment. There it is. Copy value, auth GitHub ID. Paste that in there, and then GitHub secret. I'm gonna copy that value. Auth GitHub secret. Paste that in there, and now copy that. Let's make sure that's set properly. So GitHub settings, developer settings, OAuth apps. Settings, developer settings, OAuth, your app authorization callback. Did I set this up with, I must have set this up with money. Let me pull that over here. Yep, I did. Edit. It is still showing savory oyster, so we just want to replace that to rapid mockingbird 652. All right, now it should work. Make sure I entered everything in correctly here. Rapid mockingbird. Yeah, I did enter this in manually. Go back to GitHub. Yeah, no, everything looks good. That's my bad. I didn't copy everything. I didn't realize that would affect that. Let me finish. Copy value JWKS. Private key, JWT, private key. Nice. I think it's already saved my information. So let me just try to do a fresh private browser. Clockcrib.com, sign in. Takes us through the GitHub OAuth, which is great. Wonderful. I want to add our logo there. Logo bracket claw. Let me go back into MuddyOS and update this real quick. Let's just search the VM for logo bracket claw. Logo bracket claw. Let's go into our workspace. Only images, no SVGs, huh? Key. We're gonna copy image, open up Photoshop, make sure this is a nice lightweight image. file, call that 500 by 500. We should be able to just paste that in there. It's going to be massive. Open image into new tab. Interesting. Oh, it's loading off localhost clock crib. That is an easier route, isn't it? Open image in new tab. Save as. Update. Huh. Oh, we're gonna add some more spacing there. Let's go all the way out. There we go. Perfect. We're just updating the logo here. Set application logo. Nice. It looks pretty cool. Cool. Update app. So now this is what it'll look like with the app logo on the OAuth screen here. Nice little claw crib. Simple SVG. So we can full screen that. Go back to our desktop. SVox. Hey, thank you. So this is the feedback I need, right? Like I let the agent kind of build out the onboarding on its own. So I think one room for improvement for version 2, which I'll do next week, is or custom or enter in the number of agents you'd like. I think here's a little trick, right? Like let's just go and pre-select some things, pre-select some channels, pre-select Claude. Let's make it 4 agents, right? So it's like, if you don't like the output it gives you, I'm just going to prompt, let's make it 4 agents. And then it's going to feed us all that context again. And then we should be able to say, use this config, edit in Canvas. And look, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So by default, it doesn't allow you to select, but if you go through the onboarding and then the chat feature of like, okay, I don't like this, let's add this, right? That's the purpose of this chat feature, is to allow you to then fine tune the setup before you export the JSON, right? So thank you for the suggestion. I think the solution here is adding a custom, how many agents would you like? That way people can specify. But it's encouraged to like prompt back and forth to get that ideal setup before you export anything. New post, custom, Look at that. Hey, go listen. If you're on here, go upvote that. I want to see if that works. That's awesome. This is great. And we're live. So listen, please don't abuse it. Please be nice. If you find a bug, if you find a vulnerability, reach out to me. Let me know what it is. I don't want to get hit with some crazy API key. Let me actually check to API Gemini set limits per API key. There's got to be a way in the Google Cloud Console to do this. I'm going to trust that people are going to be respectful, you know, wow, I'm hungry. Can't even talk right now. Are going to be responsible, right, with the tool. Hey, thank you. Yeah, listen, last week we launched something called Prompt Browser. So if you're ever curious, I primarily made it as a tool to automatically extract prompts from my live streams and long form videos. But then I enabled the feature for, it's completely free. Currently I paid for an account that allows 1,000 transcripts per month. So if we go over that, we'll have to reevaluate. But you can go and paste in any YouTube video. As long as it's AI focused, it should reject you if you try to paste in an interview that's nothing related to AI, right? Or a music video, things like that are not going to work. I'm going to continuously improve this, but I like to build in public. So, and I'm also noticing my camera went out. Let me fix that as we outro here. Should be. Yeah, we're back. Yeah, so built this out. This was a fun free tool we built live in 2 sessions. It was originally a different idea, and then I kind of came back at it with a fresh set of eyes. Really loving how that one turned out. We shipped that live. We just shipped this. We've been building this for well over a month now, but I put it on hold for a bit. But listen, this is always going to be a completely free resource. I do plan on creating a pro tier at some point, but that's primarily for like one-on-one access for more enterprise and mid-sized companies to pay for. So, but all these core functionalities that want to remain free, right? So it's essentially build your own, browse pre-existing templates, which by the way, like an agent made this for me. So I haven't yet gone through each version. I will finally tune this, and then I'm going to start adding custom ones that I build from scratch for you guys. The learn section is like a visual reference that I'm going to start adding in these live streams. One new core concept per week, and this all references the docs.openclaw.ai. I used Gemini 3.1 Pro to build this one out, and I'll continue to build out the Learn tab with Gemini. I built everything else with Opus 4.6, and then I used Codex 5.4 as a security audit. And then we have this help feature, which is powered by Gemini 3.1 Flashlight. So if you're having an issue with your OC setup, come paste in your errors here, and it only references two locations here. It references the docs and then the GitHub repository for OpenClaw for all the releases, all the different variations to help you identify if the bug is related to a certain, update, or if the bug is fixed in a hot fix of a newer version if you have an older version of OpenClaw. You can paste in your OpenClaw config in here, all that, and get the solution you need. And then I have this feedback tab where people can come in. Hey, we got 3 of them. Let's go. Post in recommended improvements, bugs that they find. I'm eventually going to have an agent monitor this. Right now, this is all manual. I did originally build out this idea in OC, but then I thought, let me start building it out in the CLI. So I'm testing out this new interface called CMux, which is based off of Ghosty. I'm loving it so far. So I'm going to hand off this code base to my OC setup, but first I want to add a new agent for this, essentially, to manage this and monitor this and add its own sub-agents. So yeah, so we're going to add a new agent, probably underneath Elon, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm loving it. Cool, it's working, it's shipped. You're helping out too many people. We gotta upvote that. That's a bug. I love it. Thank you. Oh, this is great. This is great. Hey, awesome. Stonesy, yo, what's up, Stonesy? Let's go. Happy to have you here. This is so awesome. Offering worse help, gonna make their bank now. Listen, all in due time, right? I think that with time, the right people will succeed. The bad actors will get essentially phased out once their extractive methods stop working, Listen, I'm just here to bring value. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you to everybody for making this possible. Every single like, every single sub, every single share, you're helping me progress. And we'll get to Valhalla. We'll get to Valhalla, so to speak. Just got to stay consistent, keep showing up every day. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. I'm about to do a Twitter post. Feel free to kind of show some love, retweet it. Let's actually do that live real quick. Why not? But I'm not going to type this out manually. And I'm not going to have OC do it for me since we don't have that set up yet for this project. Let's... Can you prep a Twitter post for me? It shouldn't sound like AI, no M dashes. We're just promoting this tool. We just pushed it live. It's working. I just want to do a quick promo post. I'll do a few screenshots from the site. Give me that verbiage, please. I'm not going to use it blindly, right? I'm just having it do the work for me. So let's kind of like the idea of screenshotting. Wow, why is that even allowing it to go bigger than my resolution? Screenshotting this point right here. Build. Bam. Browse. Learn. Ooh, this will probably be the header. Help. Oh wait, yeah, there's a quicker way to do this, isn't there? How do I, what's the hotkey? Is it 6 or 4? It's 4. And then feedback. I literally just, there we go. All right. Bam. Let's edit this in line. Oh my goodness. Start from a template, no sign up needed. That should be the first option. We're gonna add in little check marks, or let's add in little lobsters as the bullet points. Bam. Copy. Bam. Clean that line up. I think that's solid. And then let's attach an image here. Icons, so I can kind of see which one's which. Oh, and then it doesn't, we'll go list. I think this was a solid one. Nope. Am I really gonna have to go and rename all of them? Yo, what's up, Stonesy? Let's go. All right, let me go knit label these. We'll call this, relabel that 1. Rename to 2. Rename to 3. Rename to 4. And then rename to 5. All right, grab this one first. And then let's add in 2, 3, 4, 5. What? Didn't I? That's weird. Bam, 2, 3, 4. Oh, you can only do 4. Please use responsibly. Powered by, I don't need to say that. Because he responded to me with this emoji, I want to respond back with that same emoji when I showed some gratitude for him. The visual builder for OpenClaw AI agents. Just shipped beta. I think that's a solid looking post. Before I post it though, let's just gotta make sure this thing doesn't break mid-post. Everything feels like it flows. Start building. Learn first. GitHub, that takes you to OpenClaw's GitHub, great. Get OpenClaw's website, great. Built for OpenClaw. I wonder if I should put a not affiliated with. Okay, links to our website just fine. Product build, browse, learn. Okay. There's one little thing that we have to improve on here. For community, remove the Discord altogether, right? Just leave it as X, and that should go to our X account, which it does. But for the product column in the footer, it doesn't show our new feedback option. Yeah, just go ahead and update that, and I think we'll be good to promote this. Merge to main immediately, please. And thanks for that copy up top. I used some of it. All right, we're pushing this one update live here real quick, and then we'll make that post. And if you guys can show some love, that would be great. I'll be honest, I'm a bit concerned if he does retweet it or something. Oh, then curious on what that cost to that Gemini token is going to be. Let me see if I can set a budget to make sure it doesn't go over a certain amount. And if it does gain traction, we can then kind of reevaluate the budget for that key. Okay, Gemini API rate limits are enforced at project level, not per individual API key. Shoot. I should have made a separate project for ClawCrib. I guess I could always... I don't want to update the API, so I'm just going to set a budget for Clearmud as a whole, and then I'll create a new one for Clearmud and move all my personal Gemini API keys that I use across my systems to another one. That'll be just easier in the moment. Yeah, let's do it that way. Like to set a monthly budget for this project. Or I can just not be lazy and create a new project. But that hunger is getting to me. That hunger is getting to me. Oh, I've reached the number of projects that I could tie in to that billing. Interesting. Yeah, I'll fine tune that another time. Let me just set a budget for Clearmud. I was going through and creating a separate project for ClawCrib, but I think for now it's okay. Budgets and alerts. Oh, looks like we already do have a monthly limit in place. Looks like I have it set at $40 a month. I think that's okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it as is. Yeah, forget it. We'll just leave it as is. So let's do a hard refresh here. There we go. Oh, so we still have a save crib button in the secondary nav header. We got to remove that. We don't have the crib feature enabled yet. I don't see it anywhere else. Please fix, merge to main immediately. The beauty of vibe coding, you think you're done and then you find little things. You find little things. Give it a second. Waiting for that green check. Oh, what's up, Gob Izzy? Sorry, been kind of not focused on chat. It's preference. Although there's a lot of cool features where, you know, in Ghosty, for example, let's open up a fresh Ghosty here. As you can see here, you can like spin up these terminals side by side really seamlessly. You can spin them down and have as many. It's primarily for people who want to have more than one terminal on screen without having to tab over, right? Because the existing terminal from Mac, for example, is yes, you can create tabs, but then you have to tab over. And to my knowledge, I don't think you can split. Oh, looks like you can split view. When did that? Have I been sleeping under a rock? When's that been a thing? Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I think it's just preference. But now with CMux, it has this left menu bar that, let's say you're multitasking like crazy. And let's clear that. And it has a built-in preview browser within this terminal as well. Let's say you're multitasking like crazy, working on multiple things. You can go from one project to the next, and whenever there's an alert waiting for your approval on something, it lets you know. So I really love this feature in CMux. So I've just been testing it out because I'm a bit of a multitasker. Right now, I'm primarily just working on one thing at a time. But as we expand, as we grow, I know I'm going to have 5 or 6 of these tabs open at all times. And then within each tab, you have, you know, its workspace essentially. All right. This should be live. There we go. We removed it. Cool. All right, and the only thing I'm going to remove, I'll post this later on. I want it to be organic. I don't want it to be forced, and he's probably getting pinged quite a bit. So maybe I'll tag him down the road, but we're going to remove that. And we're going to post. Bam. Let's get a little like in there. Let's copy that, throw it in the Discord announcements as well. And we're going to send now, and it should embed that, I hope. There we go. Bam. Voila. Wonderful. All right. Fingers crossed that this is valuable. I think it's a great tool. We'll see with time as, you know, people find bugs, as I'm sure it's not going to be perfect. Looks like it's using the same title that's throwing me off, but they're 2 different docs. Okay. So these are the visuals for this week. And yeah, I think we're at a great stopping point. It's time for me to grab some dinner. We've been at it for almost 3.5 hours. Not a bad sesh, crew. Not a bad sesh. So as always, thanks for watching. Appreciate you for being here. Thank you for everybody for commenting, engaging. Gabizzy, Stonesy, Svox, Eric, Erwin, Ollie, Sharma, Cozy, Satyam, Derek. Where are you, Derek? There you are. George, Mert, Eric. I think I already said your name, but we're rolling through it. Just got to say thank you, Neil. Thank you, Neil. Thank you, Dark. Thank you, Ross, for stopping by. And yeah, hope everybody has a great start to the week. We'll be back at it on Wednesday for episode 3 of the OpenClaw Bootcamp. It's going to be a fun one. It's probably going to be a long one. Come prepared. And yeah, stay tuned for tomorrow's long form video that we'll be posting roughly around 7 p.m. Lisbon time. And yeah, have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you Wednesday. Happy building. Cheers. Oh, and thank you, Danny. Forgot to say thank you to you. I try to go through everybody. But yeah, thanks again, everyone. Catch you Wednesday.